It was a cold, snowy night on the island of Sodor. Due to the weather, James had to go to Vickerstown Sheds to stay the night. Luckily, there was Rosie there, but James was feeling very cross. "I'm tired of this," said James one night. "Tired of what?" said Spencer. "I'm tired of all the delays going on, engines having so many accidents, and all the trains getting canceled. It's all because of the snow. When are things going to go back to normal?" "We may never know when things will go back to normal," said Oliver to James, "but soon all the snow will melt and we'll be having a nice, safe, full railway on our hands." "Oliver is right, James," said Diesel. "Soon everything will be back to normal." "I still don't know if things will turn out good in the end," said James. "You'll wait and see. I might have an accident in the snow." And then the engines all went to sleep. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and James decided to leave early so he can get ready to pull his first trains. Later that morning, James arrived at Great Waterton to collect a train where he would take up to Wooden Railway World, and Donald would take it. "So far, we're off to a great start," said James. "Hopefully I won't have any nasty accidents along the way." But James, however, was wrong. Everything was going good so far for James until they reached Gordon's Hill. It was very steep. "Come on, you freight cars," said James. "I don't want to be late. I want to be reliable." James was trying his best up on Gordon's Hill, but it was no good. The coupling had snapped and the freight cars rolled back. "Oh no," cried James. "If those cars can crash, it can cause a lot of confusion and delay. I must stop them." And James raced down Gordon's Hill to catch the cars. Meanwhile, Molly was at Wooden Railway World, waiting for Donald to arrive with the train, and also waiting for James. "Where could James and Donald be?" said Molly. Just then, James's freight cars came racing in and bashed the other freight cars, leaving a mess right in front of Molly. "What happened here?" said Molly. Just then, James arrived at the scene of the crash. "Oh no!" cried James. "My freight train is all ruined. I'm sorry, Molly. I was up on Gordon's Hill, and the rails were really slippery, and the coupling broke." "Don't worry, James," said Molly. "This isn't your fault, but hopefully this would be the only accident of the day." But there was more trouble along the way. Donald came racing in and overshot Molly and crashed into a snowdrift, leaving his train derailed as well. "Donald!" cried James. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine, James," said Donald. "I just got stuck in a snowdrift, and I just thought, what is going on with all these accidents?" "You could say that again, Donald," said James. "I'm trying to figure out the same thing as well. How come there are so many accidents going on?" But James thought about them in his mind. Soon, Sir Topham had arrived to see what was going on. "James, how did all this happen?" "Well," said James, "I was taking a train from Great Waterton, and I came up to Gordon's Hill. The rails were really slippery, and then the coupling broke, and I had to chase my train down here, and it crashed right in front of Molly." "And Mr. Donald came down the hill too fast because he was out of sand," said Toad. "Well, I'm just glad you're all fine and not damaged or anything. I'll have to call Wooden Railway Ryan to come and take Donald's train." Like Sir Topham had predicted, Ryan came over and took Donald's train away. And then Percy pulled Donald out of the snow and took him over to the works. "I've got some good news for you, James." "What is it?" asked James curiously. "I've just got word that in 2 days all of the snow will melt, and we won't be having as many accidents." "That's great," said James. "Would you mind taking the unhurt freight cars to the big station?" "Of course," said James, and James puffed happily away with the unhurt freight cars from his train.